Hi Sean, in the last video I explained what the threshold and the ratio does, when it's going to compress, how much it's going to compress by, and the attack and how fast it's going to do this. In this video I'm going to explain this part in the middle here, which actually controls all of these three settings including your makeup gain, and it's actually quite astonishingly amazing how it does it. So when you play the track and you're playing it at its quietest part, you will notice that you'll see this little tiny bobble going up and down, and this bobble is showing you where your peak is visually. So I'm going to do this right now to see just how high that goes. As you can see, it's around about here. All you have to do is grab this bobble and pull this down to where it's going, and that's set the threshold. That threshold basically is where your quietest part is. So when you play this back, I shouldn't be seeing this threshold going above it. Yeah. Apart from the loud part of the music. So what this little bobble does is it sets up your threshold at what point it's going to start compressing. You don't have to look at anything else, just look at when you're playing your verse how high this goes. You'll see this go up and you go, okay, then there's my threshold. We'll just go from the beginning, you'll see it for yourself. You see that? It's about there. That's the threshold for the quietest part. Now, how do you know how much ratio to apply? Well, this little bubble here is for your ratio. What you can do is you can just drag this down and it tells you basically how much compression is going to be applied. If I take it all the way down, you'll see here that it's going to be exactly the same level as your chorus part or your quietest part. If you want there to be a little bit of dynamic range, what you do is you just raise it up, so we're going to allow a little bit more loudness to come through. But essentially we're bringing it down to be matching closer to the level of the quietest level, which is there. How simple is that? And that's it, that's your compression set up. Now with the Sofny, it is applying just how gradual and soft it's going to apply this between when it's starting to compress. If there's no Sofny, you'll see how harsh this is. It's going to go to there and suddenly start compressing. If you start to increase your Sofny, you see it smoothing the transition out so that it goes there nice and smoothly. So if you feel like it's a little bit too harsh while it sounds, you can just apply this Sofny. The next thing is your attack. If you want it to react more quicker, you bring the attack level down, and then next thing to do is to make up the overall gain. So let's say your target of your peak is going to be say -3 as an example. You could make up your gain here, or you can simply just drag this little bottom node here and lift it up until the top peak is at -3, and that is your top peak of your loudness part of your music. So right here you can see it's -3. Now what you're going to see when I play back is that your quietest bit is going to be around about here. This is about -6, and it isn't going to go any higher than -3, which is 3 decibels higher. You can compress it a little bit more if you want and lift up the makeup gain here to be -3. Now when I play this back, you watch what happens. The quietest part is going to be as loud almost as the loud part, and it's going to have a makeup gain to be at -3 decibels.
Waiting for the time, then we'll see and where we're going. Waiting for the time. Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. We can visually set up the compressor, so we don't even have to touch the threshold, the ratio, or the input or the makeup gain at all. We can do it visually just by seeing where the low levels are, or the little tiny knob or the node that goes up, setting this very close to it, and then grabbing this and bring it down so that we're compressing the peak as close as we want it to be to the lowest part, and then grab the bottom there for the makeup gain for our target of the final output.